Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to do somewhat of a special reading. We are going to look at our past lives, and then our present life and our future life. What we want to see is, what's followed us from a past life. Maybe there was karma that we hadn't paid in that life, and now it's in this life. So, especially, I want to say too, in love. Because a lot of times, especially if it's a soulmate, you may have past life lover that, maybe you didn't get to come together like you wanted to, that type of thing. So we're looking at everything and how it's moving forward. Let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to use the Light Seers Tarot in a minute. That's going to be future. Let's just say potential future. We're going to use the Tarot of Dreams for the present. And we are going to use the past life tarot or oracle actually, for the past. So let's get into the reading. I'm giving these a couple shuffles. Everything's pre-shuffled. This is for all signs. How do you know if it's for you? First of all, I feel like if you clicked on the video, chances are there's some type of message in here for you. I feel like, yes, your guides definitely use me and others to help get signs to you that maybe you previously missed or didn't know whether to trust or not. So, I'm just a tool, just like the tarot. We're just a tool to help read the energy. All right. I'm going to bring the lid down, and we're going to take off the top. We're going to take 4 from each. Let's begin. Okay, so this is past life. We have the arts, creative. There's a guitar. Someone may have been a musician, a singer, a songwriter, all of the above. Storyteller. We have wars and battle. Boy, it just feels like the opposite energy of the arts, right? Like this is peaceful and enjoyment and calm and zen. And then we move into wars and battle. It almost feels like, Ukraine and Russia right now, right? We're one way this, for a moment, and then boom, everything changes. So we'll see. Feels like something like it came to you. You know what I mean? Like the war came to you. And when I say you, I mean your country, your place, your hometown. Then could be the same hometown. We have High Priestess, High Priest. It's like she's foretelling people that this war is coming. She can feel it. She knows it. And it's like, I'm trying to think what they called them in the day. Like the queen would hire someone, the psychic, there's a name. I feel like this is someone who like foretells the future. Wow. A scribe or a writer. I feel some of you who are in music now, and I feel like what you have to say through your music, now I'm saying music, but it can really be anything, because I feel like, the high priest or priestess is the energy, I feel like would follow you, whether it's something you need to develop in each lifetime. But this, I mean, come on, a scribe right next to that. So someone is able to foretell the future in a previous life. And I feel like almost like I was brought about because of these wars, because, it's almost like so I can warn. I have a feeling the war came anyway. But maybe we were better able to prepare. Some of you are on this spiritual journey and in this lifetime. And you may question it sometimes, but boy, do I feel like it's just where you're meant to be. Some of you are figuring out, you're figuring out this part of yourself, this, I can only say through your spirit. We have baby on the bottom of the deck. Baby. It's interesting because I feel like just the word baby means something, like just the word baby. I feel like, first of all, this is about someone who is just, you're born with certain gifts. You're born with them. And I feel like that may be what the baby is also representing, like being born with these gifts. Some of you, it's these musical gifts. It's songwriting, it's book writing, it's that type of energy. You may question it, and it may be coming from like, I'm getting like, who am I to think I could be this great songwriter? Well, why can't you be? It's like this calling within you, right? But I feel like it's questioned at the same time because I feel like, it's like the baby to me is representing amnesia. I'm born in each world with amnesia of the previous. Now, not everybody, but nonetheless, I feel like, and then it's the journey to figure out who you really are and then be good with that. Some of you, I don't know, I feel like you have this ability now. It's like to put out fires before the fires begin. Like I can see them, I can feel it. Almost like a mother's intuition. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in the Tarot of Dreams, and we're going to move into the present. Now, we're reading this as a whole, though. I want you to understand that. I try to give my readings like an outline, but then I'm completely open to coloring outside the lines. Whatever wants to be will be. Okay, pre-shuffle, but let's give them a cut. Again, let's go right off the top. This is one of my favorite types of readings to do. Because sometimes I feel like we have to know, we don't have to, but if we can know where we were, especially if we have certain issues, if this is something that stems life after life, then you have the ability to figure it out. And, there may be fear of this part of me, but yet it's becoming comfortable with that because that's who you are. Okay, let's start. We're going to go into the present moment. Wow, I like this, the Chariot. It's almost like the Chariot is carrying us from the past to the present. This is a card of Cancer. This is about unlimited potential. When the Chariot shows up because there's been some type of balance, the light and the dark, masculine and feminine. What I learned in the Chariot is it's not my hands, me controlling the reins with my hands, it's my mind, it's my intentions. That's how I tell the horses where to go. So I like this, Chariot. Under the arts, we have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands coming under wars and battles. And it's interesting because every time I see this page, if you just look at him, it's like he's giving you the side eye, right? Like there's something. Like, I'm not going to turn my back on this person for some reason. Um, Now, it could just be a jokester, someone who jokes around. But there's something, I don't know why I feel this with this page. For some reason, I feel like I don't want to turn my back on. He's coming under wars and battles. Some of you may be dealing, let's talk about this page for a second so we can better understand it. This page is someone who moves according to their desires and passions, sometimes to a fault. I feel like the Page of Wands does fall sometimes. It's like the Fool. Um, but the Fool, is following the energy. This page is following more the desire, right? Even if the desire may not be great. So there are rises and falls, but it's about learning, right? This is about learning how to completely trust one's intuition. Um, okay, well, let's go next to him. Next, I'm saying him. We have the Palace of Swords coming under the High Priestess. High Priest or Priestess. That's the house of communication. I feel like the ability to really master it. That's my word, my voice, my truth in the Palace of Wands, right? It's your truth. I love that it's coming out of the High Priestess because, again, I feel like if I questioned this part of me, um, this is like, to me, confirmation. This can talk about like um, not giving up on certain things, just like the Page of Wands would, right? I'm going to fall, but this page is going to he's going to jump right back up, and he's going to keep moving forward. Also, I feel like this may be someone also it had to be your previous life, that may be in part of this war. This war that was foretold. I feel like in a previous life, this page was part of that. Now, doesn't mean this life, but again, we have the Two Swords coming under Scribe or Writer. So you're questioning that. I already knew that. Interesting that Two Swords is mirrored by the Chariot because they're opposite energies. The Two Swords certainly stop this Chariot from movement forward. Or if it's movement forward, it could be in maybe not so much the way I want it to be. Two Swords is kind of putting a block in front of yourself because there's something, it's like, I don't want to rip off that blindfold. Um, I'm telling you, some of you, it's like this part of you, like you are the High Priestess, High Priest, you are a scribe, you're a writer, um, you're artistic, all of this, and I feel like now it's about trusting that, like allowing that part of you to come out. Again, the baby, right? Probably previous life too. And maybe each life becomes stronger and stronger. This battle may have come forward, and it feels like maybe in a version of a person, um, or at least energy. And let's say this came as a lesson, then the lesson would be to take my time, not to move, forward without at least some type of, I don't want you to overthink something, so I want to put that on it. But, it's great to move according to your passions and desires, but this is, I feel like this is sometimes doing it without consideration of that consequence. I feel like some of that energy has followed, and that's why the Two of Swords is here too. Almost like if I open up this part, then I'm afraid this part will follow. Alright, let's look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Moon. The Moon. Card of Cancer. Card of Pisces. Ruler of Cancer. And interesting, we do have Cancer right beside that. I can talk about something within Cancer's energy in the time, that would be what? July. Two Swords tells me that there is a decision, whether it's just be an inner, like allowing yourself to do something or be what it is that you really want to be, or allow that part of you to open up that wants to open up. Like, there's not a lot of doubt surrounding it, but there is some. Okay, let's keep going, and then we'll come back and clarify this whole thing. Yeah. I'm telling you, don't miss the end. I feel like if you invest the time, invest it till the end, because sometimes it takes till the end for the real story to unfold. Alright, let's give them a cut. This is the Light Seers Tarot. One of my new favorites. And I'm going to slide everything up a little bit. Give myself a little room. We have the Five of Pentacles. Interesting. So we're looking at potential future, and I say potential. I'm not future. I'm not a fortune teller. It's interesting how I said that here, and then I'm saying I'm not one. But that's not how I look at it. More about the potential, right? If we read energy, we can, whatever seed we're planting right now, can pretty much predict our future. So we are, we all have that ability. Anyways. Five of Pentacles. I feel like what it's saying, because this Two of Swords is here, which is like a fear-based energy, right? That's a human emotion. This here is a human emotion, not a spiritual emotion. Right? This fear came, or this, whatever, it's like putting a block in the road. It's because of thoughts. Maybe other people's thoughts, that type of thing. But nonetheless, I do kind of feel like a decision needs to be made in this energy, because I feel like if it's not made, then it's made for me. Now, I find it interesting that we do have the Chariot, which again means there is fantastic potential here, but it's mirrored by that Two of Swords, and then the Five of Pentacles. Look at this, we have the Four of Swords. Well, first of all, I want to say, as it relates to this Page of Wands, who I felt in a previous life may have been part of this battle that seemed to come upon a very Zen-like energy, being foretold by you. I feel like, it has moved in like that energy. Maybe it's the person who, gave the orders. I don't think so. Maybe it was like the prince. You know what I mean? Like he was a prince. Anyways, I feel like this energy did come into this life, but also I love that the Four Swords is under that, because it means to me, if this was like, like whatever I do, I'm gonna have done to me, right? So I feel like this person may have experienced or come in like, I don't know, like, I feel like a little bit mature, kind of, but nonetheless, may come with a lot of ego, that type of thing. But I feel like that's being healed. And to me, that means it's being cut. It's being, like, that energy will no longer follow. It's cleared. Well, there's the clearing. We have the death card. Card of Scorpio. Death card is about endings so that a rebirth can take place. Death tells you not to fear it, um, because the living really begins. We have to trust, though, don't we? I feel like also what this is saying, I feel like no matter how I get to a certain place, maybe I got here more through the angst and all that stuff and the universe pushing me when I didn't want to be pushed, but I was pushed anyways. Well, that means something's meant for you. Follow that, even though it is angst, I get it. But then I feel like there's the opposite end of that where people are just being very open and receive, like, like before, if I did a reading like this, people would be like, what? You know, now people are more, I feel like, understanding of energy. I don't know what my point was. Okay, let's get our last card. Well, not our last card. Look at this justice. And right off the bat, I feel like it is the cutting of ties to a certain type of energy, um, and then it is cut for good. Justice is about making you whole again. Justice is about fairness. I feel like justice can talk about, like, if I've been through difficult situations, somehow it equals itself out. I know when you're in it, it don't feel like it, but maybe, here's that Five of Pentacles where it's like our hands being pushed. But truth be told, the Five of Pentacles is really moving you towards a really beautiful type energy, an energy of soulmates, and it allows a part of you, the empathy and the compassionate part of you, to ring free. Some of you, it's coming through the arts. Like, don't question yourself. And listen, maybe you had, like, some falls, but don't give up. Don't give up, but be realistic at the same time. This is about, I feel like, well, anyway. What was I going to say? Some of you may have been with someone. It's interesting. This could have been past life, like a couple in a past life, and here's one element of that couple who, it's like they're on opposite ends. Sometimes you can't help with who you fall in love with, right? And I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that energy, who's, the high priest or high priestess over here, maybe they did influence or have an effect. I kind of don't think so, though, because I feel like this person now in this present life is paying back that karma. And listen, if it's someone we know, there's nothing we can do about it. They got to pay it back. They're either going to accept that or they're not. With the Four of Swords here, it tells me that they do. That they do. That they do cut it. They cut those ties forevermore. And I feel like that's what the Death card is also representing. Right? Like, boom. Some of you may have gone through a difficult divorce. But I feel like your future looks great. And I also feel like for some of you, these cutting of ties, maybe with certain people, um, what it does, it kind of frees you. Like, I feel like it frees your inside. It frees it for you. And then for us, for the world. Maybe I couldn't feel it. I couldn't trust it if I was, like, in this drama-filled energy, right? And maybe I keep trying to help someone and help them, and they just, to no avail. Well, it's because it's not your job, right? The universe has got this. And eventually, I do feel like they do come to right where they're meant to be. So even though the energy feels hard, right, and the energy feels like, it's almost like, how do I say this? Well, let's use the war again between Russia and Ukraine. Like, it's almost like Putin finds compassion in his heart for what he's doing. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Now that feels like the extreme, but I'm seeing these wars and battles. Okay, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Hello, sun. How beautiful. Your future, the sun. First of all, card of Leo. Ruler Leo. The sun. A brand new day. Brand new day. The sun is about really living within your inner child. It is, you're not putting restrictions on anything because everything is illuminated. Like there's nothing that can hide within the sun's energy. Interesting, we have the moon right above that. So I have to say, for some of you, this could definitely be a twin flame. I'm just going to throw that out there. It doesn't have to be, but I do see the sun and moon. And we'll see. We'll see if Ace of Cups or the Two Cups comes out. And I think we should get right into that. Wow. Oh, the Lover's on the bottom of the deck. But we're going to shuffle it. What I'm going to do is bring in the Gilded Tarot and bring this all together for you. Ace of Pentacles. We'll see if it makes its way out. So we're going to shuffle. And I'm just connecting. I'm going to connect. Connecting the dots. We have the Hierophant. I find that kind of beautiful because that is your belief system. It is your belief system. And it does ask you to question it. It's a 5. So there needs to be questions within a 5. And the questions are, what's serving me, what's not? Whose belief system am I living in, mine or the world's? You know what I mean? Have I left my faith out of it? I feel like all things are possible, even if we don't know that, right? Like, we never thought a computer was possible until it was possible. All things are possible. I know that. I know that because things have happened in my life that, anyway. The Hierophant, card of Taurus, by the way. It's your faith. It's your belief. And how interesting that it also carries the energy of that 4 swords. The healing, right? So, the 4 swords, I just want to say, it's the healing of the mind and the heart. But it's also one sword left, and that sword is what we lie upon. That's our own sword, our own responsibilities, right? Our own, what have we allowed to connect, what type of energy have we allowed to connect to us, and what, do we know that we can shake it free, right? And by the way, I feel like if you start to feel like negative energy, like really, honestly, jump in place like 10 times or 5 times, right? Just jump, shake your arms. Like, just shake it about. It's like you're just pushing that energy off of you. Okay. I feel like that was just a little quick something from you guys. So 5 does ultimately ask for a change. We have the 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups. Okay, well, 4 Cups. First of all, Four Cups, I gotta trust my own spiritual discernment when it regarding things, regarding life. Here, allow something coming. But really, this can be an energy of not doing much about anything. This person is daydreaming. They're daydreaming about this one cup. Maybe they know this cup, maybe they don't know this cup. Maybe it's just daydreaming of a better life, a better world. A Hierophant is right next to it. And I feel like, okay, I'm going to have to close my window. I feel like it's almost like the Hierophant. Look at him. Looks like the Hierophant is trying to, shake this person awake. It's falling over this page, who again, I feel like is connected to not the greatest energy of the past, a very ego type energy, a very egotistical type energy. And it followed in this life. The karma of it followed. Let's put it that way. That's just the way it is. Here's the Hierophant. Almost like God coming over this, I feel like I want to say child. Now, I don't know if it's a child or not, but God's child, God's child. Trying to shake this person awake, right? Almost like having an awakening. Again, can you see how, unless that issue, you can't, I almost feel like you can't help this person maybe in the way you think you can help. And maybe you've been battling that. I swear to God, every time I do a reading, someone cuts the grass. And people have big yards here, so. Okay, I'm going to shut my window. Excuse me 1 second. I'll be damned, it was my own man. What is he thinking? Anyway. Alright. I feel like, first of all, if this may be someone that some of you know that maybe you yourself needed to cut ties with. And the reason being is because I can't help them get better. They have to do it with themselves and through their faith. I do feel like they do. But I don't know that there's much I can do about it. This can certainly even talk about a twin. Twins are opposite energy. We are opposite energies, right? The yin and the yang. But we have to learn, when you put that energy in completeness together, well, that's justice, that's wholeness, right? So getting to that point of wholeness. Why do I have a card in my hand? We have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, first of all, is fast-moving energy. Interesting how I felt like I wanted to call this page the Prince back in a previous life, and what I mean by that is for some reason I feel like they had the authority, but it feels like the authority in the dark, doing it maybe unbeknownst to others, and again it's their karma that they had to pay back. They have to pay back. They will pay back. Sooner or later, I feel like they are paying it in this lifetime. And, unfortunately, those attached, you may not understand it. Somebody doesn't understand it. If it's you, you don't understand it. But I feel like this person does come to that realization, right? Because this person is dreaming of a better life. And I feel like, listen, with the Hierophant next set, I know that the light will get through. And then I find that the Knight here, it's almost like the older version of this prince coming in. I could have learned some very hard lessons, but it doesn't mean that I'm no longer a passionate person, right? That's just who I am. And, but now I'm wiser. Okay. Interesting how they're coming out one by one. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Listen, scribe or writer, it could certainly be what you do for a living or what you would like to be doing for a living. The Eight of Pentacles says, be willing to go into something as the apprentice. I don't have to know everything. I'll learn as I go. Eight of Pentacles says, you put your focus on this, you will grow it. Some of you, I'm telling you, you're feeling like, you were the scribe or the writer in a previous life. And that energy, I feel like every lifetime it is born. And it's like the journey to find it, to figure it out. Eight of Pentacles says you put your focus on it, you will grow it, you will have success. Eight, new beginning. Eight can be a very abundant number. Remember, eight is like infinity. It would make sense. Infinity, right? Previous life, this life, probably next life. But in this life, it feels like you're mastering it. Some of you, I feel like you get like signs and messages from your loved ones who have gone before you. And maybe you trust it, maybe you don't. We have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands coming over. Now we're moving into the potential future. First of all, it's coming between the Chariot and the Five of Pentacles. And I have to be honest, I feel like this is your decision on how it comes, on how this next chapter opens. You have the Sun. The Sun is a beautiful type of energy that it's like a brand new day, a brand new you. This is your inner child is alive. Sometimes we got to set people free, set things free. If they come back to us, then it's meant to be. Anyways, I'm not sure where I'm getting that because I'm holding the Ten of Wands, which is, I often feel in the Ten of Wands, there's a lot of responsibility on my back. But at the same time, I feel like in the Ten of Wands, because the 10 talks about allowing something to come to end. Maybe I'm carrying other people's burdens, responsibilities that do not belong to me, that do not serve me. For others, this is just talking about a period of time that has been difficult, probably a cycle, but it wants to come to an end. Sometimes, just change is hard, right? Even if it has potential good. We know it could be potentially good for us. It's hard, but we got to learn to get beyond that because things are constantly changing. Ten of Wands, I feel like I know that I either want the Tower to come in or there's something I have to end myself. Over that Five of Pentacles. And then we have the Eight of Swords. Wow. I kind of feel like what it's saying is this page, and I'm sorry I don't know who this page is, and I keep picking on them, but nonetheless, they've done what they've done. But this Eight of Swords, I feel like it's almost saying like their guide is saying, man, this person is hard to get through, hard to get to. They are hard to get to. 8. Why can't I get to someone? Why can't I get them to see it my way? Because in the 8 of Swords, this is a self-created wall, a self-created prison, um, a self-created wall of protection. That's what I think, anyway. That's what they think, anyway. Because it's self-created, the only one who can uncreate it is them, is whoever is this page. Who, by the way, I do feel like in this lifetime is older. I don't know why, but, or maybe if this is something that, because I do ultimately feel like this person heals, but it feels like it takes longer because they have to realize it themselves. You may have been carrying the weight, like all the weight, of someone, thinking that it helped, thinking that you're helping, but in reality, you're not helping. Now, I know that's hard to hear, but I mean, you're just not helping because you can't, right? And it's like, again, like Divine's got this. And, we can't put a time on this. Like, when will this person, let's just say, have an awakening? Because I feel like ultimately that's what they have. They are dreaming of a better life. But maybe how to get there is very, very hard and confusing. They do have the moon, right? The moon is here, can cast shadows. But then the sun comes out. Nothing can hide in the sun. We have the Chariot again, coming over the Death card. First of all, we have a lot of Cancer energy here, and I'm wondering if something's going on, in that energy. You guys, astrologers would know better than me. And look at this, the Empress. It's like figuring out who I am and being proud of it, and being, the Empress is a loving type energy. She's nurturing, and it's interesting because she's coming over justice. And it can talk about, like, when I've cut certain ties. It could just be energetic ties. It may be energetic ties to something, or even to the doubt in your own mind. Because the Empress knows who she is. She knows that, listen, I'm made for greatness. Now, greatness doesn't have to be something big and gigantic. It could be greatness just within your own, I don't know, your own community. She's the mothering type energy. But she's very wise. She's very strong. I feel like the Empress has walked all the Queen's journeys, each and every one of them. The Pentacles, the Wands, the Cups, and the Swords, air. And that's how she arrives to this place. Again, very empathetic, compassionate, loving, creative. Don't forget, we go way back here. We have the arts. Even in, if I'm a writer, if I'm a scribe, if whatever it is, your intuition feels like on fire. It feels on fire. Some of you, you're taking on too much responsibility of something that it just feels like you cannot change because you're not meant to. But it's covered. And how beautiful the Empress, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Scribe, the writer. Look at this person. I mean, they've got their head down, right? Head down at their desk. They're busy. A lot of people say to me, oh, Sandy, how do I get past this? how do I get past this? Sometimes it's literally you gotta just do it. But I feel like, if it is relating to anything of the past, when we refocus our mind, right, follow our own interest, even though, I may have pain in my heart, but I feel like something else opens up in you, and that may be, again, you helping others. Some of you may be psychic, mediums. Some of you are very creative writers, very creative in the arts, um, very creative. And I do feel like there was a period where, like, it almost felt like it didn't exist because I was too busy, like, because there was too much going on here. But, it's like the universe is giving you a breath. Like, almost saying, we've got this. You go do you. All right. I'm not quite finished. So, we have the death card, which is about an ending, right? And let's face it, this reading is talking about something that I feel like, who's ever watching knows. Because even with a blindfold on, especially with the sun, that sun's going to get, you're still going to see the sun through that blindfold. The moon, not so much. The moon can talk about uncertainty. The sun says you got nothing to fear. Everything is in the light. But that's not how it's been, but that's how it will be. Again, I feel like, I don't know. I almost feel like you get it or you don't. And it's okay if you don't. I'm not putting judgment on that, but I feel like for some of you, like, you get it. Like, you get what I'm saying. All right, we have judgment. And I think I'm going to leave it at judgment because judgment is about a rebirth, right? And I'm taking it right down the middle. And I feel like what it's doing is connecting all of our past, present, and future together. Judgment is a call to the present moment. It is your spiritual team. I feel like it's higher than that. Some of us are seeking that, right? We're seeking that. Over here, I have one energy that's not doing a whole lot, but I want a better life, right? And over here, I have someone who, is wearing a blindfold, but I don't want that blindfold on. Judgment is like the ability to release all of that, each on their own. I feel like each to their own. Judgment is about a rebirth. You have so much energy of that. But what's attached to it? The Chariot again. The Chariot. I don't know how that could be bad. I think I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to make this real long and I don't want to overthink anything. I'm also seeing that the Hierophant is above that Ten of Wands. But connected to the Chariot there. Interesting. Just realized we have the Hierophant connected to the Chariot here. We have Judgment connected to the Chariot here. Can you see how divine is like trust? Like believe? And that means believe like all things can be possible. Like, and we just moved into a Gemini new moon. And that is about being curious. Be curious. We're moving into a Sagittarius full moon, and that is pretty uplifting. That is the energy of movement. So, what else do we have going on? Oh, Mercury retrograde, but that's almost over. New moon in Cancer on the 28th. No wonder I'm picking up so much Cancer energy. I have like a few things written down over here when I was just looking at the moon. Is interesting. I wrote down the new moon, June 28th, rules emotions. It rules emotions. New moon manifesting. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Happier, lighter, travel, higher learning. Wow. Sagittarius can also be a runner when highly stressed or upset. Mercury's in retrograde. Time we want to watch our words, right? Because sometimes what's spoken cannot be taken back. You know, we're speaking the truth, we're speaking the truth. Be curious. Look how I wrote that. Like, I even underlined it. And I did this, I don't even know, days and days ago. Be curious. I knew that I would need it. I knew that it would come into play, and here it is. I love you guys. Let me know what you think. If you like it, you know, I've done a few of these and they don't get a lot of views, which doesn't really matter, but in a way it makes me understand that I'm not sure a lot of people like this type of reading, and I want to do what you like. I love it, but I want you to love it. So your comments let me know. You know, like, I'm not afraid of difficult comments. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Or if you don't trust it, you don't trust it. You know, I'm not afraid of that. Whatever, it just lets me know. This baby, I don't know, I keep looking over at this baby, and again, I feel like, you know, born again. This baby, born again, and probably born again. This is about a twin flame, even though we don't have any love cards out. Wow, we have the sun on the bottom of the deck. So, the sun on two bottoms of the deck with the moon and the baby. The sun is in the potential future, as this sun is really for all. Past, present, potential future. I love you guys. I feel like this is your guide saying, we love you. We're here. We're here to help you. Know what belongs, know what's your responsibility, what's not. Trust in yourself. Like, trust in, I feel like this would be something that kind of is like gnawing in a way, or it's something that, like, a topic that catch your interest and you follow it a little bit, and next thing you know, that's how I got into my spirituality. Just real quick, my brother he was dying, and I was by his bedside in the hospital, and I saw two spirits come in through the crack of the door, but they were long, and it was very slow motion, almost like I was meant to see it. Now, I'd never had anything like that in my life, at least that I was aware of, because I wasn't thinking that way at all. It was very much in the human type energy. But then I saw that, and I felt like this peace and calmness because I saw my brother's soul also rise. And phew, then all three were gone. They were gone. Now his body was still alive. But I remember when the nurse came in, I said, he's no longer there. So anyways, why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Oh, because after that, I became so curious that I went to the local library and I got book after book after book after book about what it is I saw, which pulled me this way and then this way, and next thing I know, years and years. I mean, that happened in 2014. But anyway, here I am. Here I am. It set me on a brand new path. Brand new. Like the opposite of what my life was like. So that's what I mean when you just never know. Now, I don't want anything like that to happen. And the sun is such beautiful type of energy. Really allows you to live through that inner child. It really allows you to create and be who it is you want to be. And I feel like it is about, the elimination and the cutting of certain ties. And, was it the right tie to cut? Well, I feel like when you cut it, it's almost like you feel like a feather. It's kind of like part of the sign, the signal. There can still be hurt attached to it, but yet your soul seems to like rise. So, anyways, here I am still talking. I love you guys. Let me know. Thank you for sharing this on your social media. Um, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I will see you next time at our table. Bye bye.